national president of Miyetti Allah Bello Abdullahi Bodejo has said that the Fulani herdsmen don't need anybody's approval or permission to occupy any land in any part of the country. He said the group's own security outfit is set to roll out with some 5,000 to 100,000 vigilantes to start and deployed across the states of the country. In this interview with Vincent Carlo, the leader of the Socio-Cultural Association stressed that the Fulani race founded in Nigeria, so they will rule forever. And the first question that was put to him says, what is your view on the state of the nation? He said, Nigeria is moving, but the coronavirus has made everybody gentle. Before, people were saying whatever they liked, especially over the issue of Fulani herdsmen and farmers' clashes. I miss the people who were always insulting me in the media because of my position on the issue. I don't know what has happened. Since coronavirus came, they left Fulani herdsmen issue to concentrate on their health. Before, it was Fulani herdsmen did this, Fulani herdsmen did that. Talking about the Nigerian economy on the part of the Fulani, especially the cattle market and other activities, nothing changed. Remember, they live their lives like refugees and seem not to have rights. So even the coronavirus hasn't changed anything for them. Before, if they went to hospital, they were billed higher than others. It is still the same. If they want to travel to Hajj, they are charged higher than others. If they boarded public transport, they were charged higher fares than others. It is still the same, so it will be hard for them to observe any difference between how the country was before COVID-19 and now. So why do they have to pay higher than others in these instances you mentioned? He said if a taxi cab sees a Fulani man, the place where they were charging 100 naira, he would collect even 300 naira. His own business is just to reach his destination. They are not involved in transportation business. They won't ask because they are used to it. I asked some Fulani how much they paid from Abuja to Taraba. They said the difference was just 500 naira from what they used to pay. The same thing with hospital. If a Fulani goes to buy Panadol, which is 100 naira, it will be sold to him for 300 naira because he doesn't know. Again, you haven't given the reason for this. He said there are three categories of Fulani in the country. Some Fulani are highly educated, some professors, some are technocrats, etc. This category doesn't care about the Fulani in the bush. Another category are those who are not so educated and just around and parading themselves as the so-called leaders of the Fulani. The third category are Fulani people don't know about electricity, borehole, and the infrastructures that give life a meaning. They drink water from the same source with their cattle in the bush. They are living their normal lives in the bush. That is the typical Fulani. So Amotekun is now in operation in the southwest. How are your people cooperating with them? Because on Monday it was reported that herdsmen killed 3 persons in Ondo community. He said their governments allowed Amotekun to be doing their thing. In our own case, under my organization, Miyetti Allah, we are trying to set up our own security outfit to deal with cattle rustlers, banditry around Fulani settlements. We are considering starting with 5,000 personnel. While their own is Amotekun, our own name shall be unveiled soon. It is this coronavirus that has delayed its takeoff because of this social distancing policy, as we are trying to be law-abiding and helping to move Nigeria forward. But for the Fulani man, nothing concerns him with coronavirus. The Nigeria police is trying to secure everybody in the country, but we have observed that those involved in the cattle rustling are people who have learned from Fulani on how to rear cows, or others who don't have cows anymore because of Benue, Plateau, Zamfara, Katsina, and so on crisis. For thousands of Fulani, their cattle have finished completely and they don't know how to do achaba, commercial motorcycles. They don't know how to operate commercial transport service, so they don't have anything to engage, as they no more have cattle. So we want to engage them to form our own vigilance group. They know the bushes and so can work with the Nigerian police and stop the rustlers. They call their own Amotekun. Since we are the majority in the country, we are supposed to have our own security, because our own people are living in different bushes across the country where there is no security, no electricity, nothing. We are meeting anytime from now. We make our plans public. We will first start with 5,000 personnel. We have not decided on its name. Maybe it may be called Miyetti Allah Vigilante. Will it operate only in the north or across the country? He said it is going to be across the country because there is no any angle you cannot find the Fulani in the country, like Amotekun, where the houses of assembly made laws to back it up. Every place in the Fulani find themselves, that is their own assembly. Will your security outfit use guns to defend your people? He said they will not bear arms. We have sticks which we use to control cows. That stick is enough to use for their defense. These cattle rustlers are armed with guns. How can you settle, or how can your security outfit match them with sticks? He said sometimes nothing concerns Fulani with guns. If they say they want to do something, they will do it. And I don't think that gun will make them fear. One is a person who is trying to steal, and the other is trying to stop the thief. And this is why we are going to increase their number, maybe from the initial 5,000 to 100,000 or more, so that at any place you have between 7 and 9 of them, and this Titan 3 or 4. A community in Delta State 2 weeks ago sacked Fulani settlement following incessant killings of their people by herdsmen. What is your position over this development? He said, Fulani herdsmen are not killers. They don't kill. This is a strategy to push them from that community. Any community that wants to sack the herdsmen, they create problem and use it to send them away from the community. Communities have asked them to come out and take accommodation and live with them instead of going to live in the bush. He said it is because of the activities. You can't carry cows to enter a secretariat. You can't carry cattle to come and live together with people. They live in the bush, but the reason you see many of them in the town is because they don't have any cattle. As a result of rustling and violence, and any person you see carrying maybe 25 cows will be looking for where to graze them. But some people are alleging that the mass movement of Nigeria and others said to be herdsmen to the south is for sinister move to cause problem in the area. What do you say to this? He said, I am not happy with the people involved in moving Amajiri from the state of the from one state to the other because they are Fulani. They said their movement is because of coronavirus, but the committee I set up said no Fulani man has tested positive for coronavirus nationwide. They have not tested COVID-19 nationwide. Our fear is that moving these people is another strategy to go and infect the herdsmen inside the bush. I don't see reason for this movement because they are children. As a governor, it is up to you to make a place for them. That is why I remember former President Jonathan. He is not a Muslim, but he went and built places for this Nigeria in different states. No matter how you hate the former president, you must remember he tackled the Amajiri issue far more than some people in the north. And I will not mention names. The Amajiri are Nigerians. They are not from Niger or any other country. And it is a culture in the north. Why are they being taken to the south under the interstate border closure? He said, I don't know who is taking them to the south. The only thing I know is their movement from one northern state to the other. They are trying to make every Amajiri to go back to his parents' house. If they are taking Amajiri from north to south, maybe their parents are there because Fulani are everywhere. For the fact that they don't produce governors, senators, and so on in the southeast, south, and southwest, doesn't mean that they are not in those regions. They are just lying low, not making noise. They are everywhere. If they want, they will be producing elected officials, but that is not their problem. Their problem is to look for where to graze their cattle. That is their business. If they exhaust their grazing area, they migrate to other area. They can, from here to Ghana, Senegal. Nothing concerns them about the state of the schools or infrastructure in that area. It is reported that Esme have forcefully taken over 350 lands in the southeast. What is your reaction? He said, in the first place, who owns the land? I don't know any place in any local government in Nigeria where Fulani have displaced people and settled. They mean farmlands and bushes, not residential area where the Esme allegedly scare away the owners of the land. He said, I have suggested before that there are places these Esme have settled as a village head, chief or traditional ruler of that community. You should bring them to your place, make a Fulani chief among them, so that if any Esme tries to scare these farmers, the Fulani chief will send his people to go and arrest him. Some people are donning Fulani attire to cause trouble in some places. Nobody has gone to those places to see if they are real Fulani. We have called our members and they said they are not dragging land with anybody. The commissioner of police is there. The army is there. Those areas the Fulani live, the traditional ruler should make a Fulani chief and bring him into his cabinet for peaceful coexistence. It is a very simple matter, okay? You should know that the Fulani have a right to go and settle anywhere they like. It is in the constitution and you shouldn't break any law. If Fulani Esme go to any bush and settle there, that is their offense. What is their offense? If, as they claim that their cattle were destroying crops, what is the work of the commissioner of police? He should go and arrest them and charge them to court. By the way, who has the land they claimed that the Esme have settled? Hi, Bello Abdullahi Bodejo. If I decide to go inside bush and settle in any community, I won't ask for anybody's permission and be doing my activities, but I won't offend anybody. Did you hear that? Okay. So another question is, if the Esmen decide to go and settle inside the bush, they won't ask for anybody's permission. The only thing they can see are the grasses, cutters, and other bushmeat. Do you say they should take permission from these animals before they settle there? He said even the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, it was the Fulani that first settled there. After they settled in one place and leave, the farmers come and start farming and town start springing up there. It is only Fulani that can go and stay inside any bush they like. They have right to go and settle in any bush in this country without asking anybody for permission. It is not against the law in the country, in this country. Who would they go to take permission from? Is it the animals in the bush? You see, from village to the bush they are claiming is theirs, maybe over 100 kilometers. How can Esme go and settle in a bush that is over 100 kilometers away from the people who live, and you expect them to go and take permission from anybody? Who owns the land? He's asking who owns the land. I don't see any place where people will try and drive away the Fulani. They have rights in this country. They produce Nigeria. They produce the first prime minister. If they produce the first president, another president, and so on, are they not the owner of the country? Fulani are ruling Nigeria and they must continue to rule the country forever. That is the truth. Like, seriously? So guys, you've heard it from Bodejo. So it is not somebody trying to speak on anybody's behalf. Bodejo, and you know, is a position. I wouldn't want to dwell so much on what people are saying. Someone says, this is the voice of a troublemaker. Please tell these people to embrace modern method of grazing. Living in the forest because of cow is outdated. Help yourselves a little. In developed countries, people don't graze in the forest. When you have vagabonds in power, this is what you hear and see. So guys, let us hear your opinion. This is really food for thought. Let's know what you think in the comment section. Thank you very much.